The men turned sharply. Smoke was rising from a burning trash bin near the gate. Toby didn't wait, he shouted, "Run!" Mama Peace kicked open the back door, and Princess crawled out, gasping. They all ran through the alley, away from the church. As the smoke thickened behind them, the men shouted and chased, but by the time they reached the back, the three were gone. Princess, Toby, and Mama Peace ran deep into the night. They didn't stop until they reached an old train station at the edge of town. Princess fell to her knees, crying, "I can't keep running, Toby. He'll never stop." Toby held her shoulders. "Then we stop hiding. We fight back." She looked up at him, confused. "How?" He pulled something from his pocket. A small phone. "I know someone who can help us. Someone who knows Chief Donald's secrets." Princess blinked, her heart pounding. "Who?" Toby's face hardened. "His own driver." The old train station was quiet except for the sound of crickets and the wind rustling through the broken windows. Toby's phone light glowed dimly on his face as he whispered. "He said he'd meet us here. We have to trust him." Princess looked around nervously. "What if it's a trap, Toby? What if Chief sent him?" Toby shook his head. "No. This man owes me his life. I once helped him when he was in trouble. He said Chief is not who people think he is." Mama Peace was praying quietly beside them. "Lord, cover your children. This man must come in peace." Moments later, headlights appeared in the distance. A car stopped, and a man stepped out, tall, wearing a brown jacket and a cap pulled low. He looked around before walking toward them. "Toby," he said in a low voice. "Yes." "You came." The man nodded. His face was tired, his eyes heavy. "My name is Mr. Bassi. I've been Chief Donald's driver for 12 years. But I can't work for him anymore. What I know could burn his name to the ground." Princess's heart thumped. "Please, tell me why he wanted to marry me." "Why me?" Bassi looked at her for a long time before speaking. "Chief didn't want a wife. He wanted a cover." "What do you mean?" Toby asked. "He has enemies, people he cheated, people he hurt. But one of them is powerful. A politician who's been hunting him quietly. Chief knew the only way to gain protection was to marry into a respectable family. A family with a good image. A family no one would suspect him of using." Princess frowned. "But my family is poor. We don't have power." Bassi nodded. "Not power, but reputation. Your father's late brother, your uncle, was a respected judge. Chief knew that name would make him look clean before the elections." Princess gasped. "So, he wanted to use me to cover his crimes?" "Yes. And worse," Bassi said, lowering his voice. "He was planning to move money through your father's name into fake charity accounts. He needed your signature after marriage to make it legal." Princess's hands flew to her mouth. "That's why he's desperate to find me," she whispered. Toby clenched his fists. "We can expose him. We have proof now." Bassi shook his head quickly. "Not yet. If you try that now, he'll crush you. You need real evidence, his voice, his accounts, his confession. I can get those, but it will take time." He handed Toby a small flash drive. "This has part of the truth, videos, emails, recordings. But the full file is locked in his mansion, in his office safe." Princess's eyes widened. "The mansion? That's suicide." Bassi looked at her sadly. "Maybe. But if you want your freedom, real freedom, you must go back there." For a long moment, no one spoke. The night air felt heavier. Then Princess lifted her head. Her eyes, once full of fear, now burned with quiet fire. "I ran from that house because I was scared," she said softly. "But I'm done running. He took my peace. I'll take back my power." Toby looked at her in disbelief. "You mean you want to go back?" "Yes," she said firmly. "But this time, not as his victim, as his downfall." Mama Peace put a hand on her shoulder. "If you must go, child, go with wisdom. The devil doesn't rest easy when light walks into his house." That night, Bassi drove them to a small safe house at the edge of Acacia. He spread a map of Chief's mansion on the table. "Here," he pointed. "This is his office. The safe is behind a painting of a lion." Toby leaned closer. How do we get in? Bassie sighed. He's hosting a party next week. A charity dinner for the press. I can get 2 of you inside as staff. Chioma nodded slowly. I'll go as one of the servers. Toby's voice rose.
No.
It's too dangerous. She turned to him, eyes fierce. Toby, this is my fight. You said we'd stop running, so we stopped today. He wanted to argue, but the fire in her voice silenced him. A week later, the night of the party arrived. The mansion glowed like a palace, filled with laughter, music, and the smell of expensive perfume. Cars lined the driveway, ministers, celebrities, businessmen. And among the servers, dressed in a simple black uniform with a tray in her hands, was Princess. Her heart pounded as she moved through the crowd, her eyes scanning every corner. Then she saw him, Chief Donald, smiling, shaking hands, wearing suit. The crowd adored him. No one knew the truth behind that smile. She clenched her fists. Tonight, she whispered, the mask comes off. She waited until the guests moved to the dining hall, then slipped quietly down the corridor. Her hand trembled as she pushed open the office door. The lights were low. There, the lion painting. She reached behind it, just like Bassie said, and felt the cold surface of the safe. She was entering the code Bassie gave her when. Looking for something, my dear? The voice froze her body. She turned slowly. Chief Donald stood by the door, smiling, but his eyes were dark and sharp. He stepped forward, his laughter cold. You really thought you could hide from me forever? Princess's hand was shaking, but her eyes didn't drop. You wanted to own me, Chief. But I am not yours to own. His smile vanished. You don't understand the game you're playing, girl. In my world, people like you don't get second chances. Then his voice lowered, almost like a whisper. I loved you, you know. You could have had everything. Her reply was steady. I don't need everything. I just need peace. Just as he took another step toward her, the office door burst open. Toby and Bassie stood there, a phone in Bassie's hand recording everything. Chief turned, shocked. What? You? Bassie's voice was cold. The world will finally see who you are, Chief. Chief lunged for the phone, but Toby blocked him. They struggled, furniture crashing, papers flying. Princess grabbed the flash drive from the safe, clutching it tight. But before she could escape, a guard stormed in and struggled with her. Suddenly, something hit the glass window. Princess screamed. Every lay on the floor. And then everything went dark. The mansion was on fire, not with flames, but with noise, panic, and flashing lights. Police sirens echoed outside as guests ran, dropping wine glasses and screaming in confusion. Inside, Princess, Toby, and Mr. Bassie stood in Chief Donald's office, surrounded by chaos. Chief's face was dark with anger, sweat shining on his forehead. You think you can ruin me? He shouted, stepping forward. You, a girl from the slums? Princess stood tall, her voice steady. No, Chief. You ruined yourself. Bassie raised his phone. The police already have everything, sir. Your recordings, your accounts, your secrets. Chief blinked. What? Just then, the door burst open and police officers flooded the room. Chief Donald, you are under arrest for fraud, kidnapping attempt, and money laundering. He looked around in disbelief. His power, his pride, all slipping away. As they handcuffed him, Chief Donald turned to Princess. You'll regret this, he hissed. Princess met his gaze calmly. No. I'll finally sleep in peace. 3 months later, the sun over Lagos felt brighter than it had in years. Life was simple again, but it was beautiful. A small shop stood at the corner of a busy street. The sign read, Princess Touch, Fashion with Heart. Inside, colorful dresses hung on the walls, and laughter filled the air. Princess sat behind her sewing machine, adjusting a piece of fabric, while Toby arranged clothes for customers. Toby, smiling more than ever. He was now her business partner, her best friend, and the quiet love she never expected. Sometimes, when the shop was quiet, he'd look at her and say, See now? The same girl who once ran through the rain is now a queen of her own world. Princess would laugh softly. A queen with a needle and thread. Chief Donald, once feared, was now facing trial. His face appeared on every newspaper. Businessman exposed for fraud. His wealth couldn't save him anymore. And the same people who once bowed to him now looked away in shame. As for Mr. Bassi, he testified in court and later opened a small taxi business. He sometimes visited Princess' shop, always smiling proudly. "You did what no one else could," he told her once. "You stood up to power and you won." One evening, as the sun dipped low and the sky turned gold, Princess sat outside her shop with Toby. A small boy ran by holding a newspaper shouting, "Justice done! Justice done!" Princess smiled. The world felt lighter. Toby looked at her. "So, what's next for Princess the Brave?" She thought for a moment, watching the orange clouds. "To live, to laugh, to forgive." Toby grinned. "And maybe to love?" She laughed, shaking her head. "Maybe when the time is right." Moral lessons from Princess Story. Money can buy comfort, but never peace. True happiness comes from freedom and self-respect. Your worth is not for sale. Poverty can end, but losing your soul takes everything. And so, Princess, the girl who ran away from a billionaire, became the woman who ran toward her dreams. She found not riches, but peace. Not gold, but freedom. Not fear, but love. Thanks for watching. See you on our next story. Please don't forget to subscribe. Bye.